In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down Blueface's unique rap flow.
Time to handle business.
If you're new here, my name is ColeMize, and I've been helping rappers perfect their rap skills on this channel for the past 10 years. Now, when it comes to Blueface's rap flow, the best way to describe people's reaction to it is polarizing. There's people who absolutely love it, and there's also people who fervently hate it. And the people who do hate it typically state that Blueface can't rap on beat to save his life, which they find to be enjoyable to listen to. And the people who love his rap flow find it to be different, unique, and refreshing. Now to get started, let's take a quick listen to him rapping a few bars from his song, Respect My Crippin'. And the instrumental that I'm gonna be using today is a beat that I produced called The Hunt, which is available for purchase via the link in the video description below.
Fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect his crippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slippin'. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, time to handle business.
Now the people who say Blueface is rapping off beat are not wrong. Blueface is 100% rapping off beat, but it's not due to a lack of skill. He's doing it on purpose, and I'm about to show you how and why. The first thing any rapper should learn how to do is measure musical time. That's because for your lyrics to ever sound good on top of an instrumental, you're gonna need to turn each of those syllables into what is known as a rhythmic music note, such as 8th, 16th, and 32nd notes. And more on those in just a moment. The key to developing an awesome rap flow is all about measurements. And specifically, one of the first things any rapper should learn how to measure is something known as beats. Now in hip hop, beats is slang for an instrumental, and that's not what I'm talking about here. In music, the beats are the 4 even divisions of each bar. And if you were to structure your words to fill in these beats, then you would be using rhythmic music notes known as quarter notes, because each note takes up 1/4 of a bar. Fitting your lyrics within a division of a bar is the key to making your rap sound musical. Or in other words, this is how you make your lyrics fit perfectly within any instrumental. Now, rappers typically don't use a lot of these quarter notes because they are very long and are usually better suited for singing melodies. For an example, check out this snippet of Lecrae's song, Gravity.
Gravity keeps pulling.
And if you only use 4 words per bar, things are gonna get boring very quickly. So where else should you place your syllables? Well, if you think about beats as just being a division of a bar, then you can divide each beat into smaller beats, which creates more locations for you to place your syllables. For an example, you can divide each beat in half. I like to refer to these as half beats. These are also known as 8th notes because they take up 1/8 of a bar. And if you primarily filled your bars in using nothing but 8th notes, your raps would sound like a nursery rhyme, which is why some people say Lil Yachty sometimes has a nursery rhyme rap flow. For an example, his song One Night uses the same cadence as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which is all 8th notes with a quarter note on the 4th beat.
I know you want this for life.
And if you divide these half beats or 8th notes in half, you now get what I like to think of as sub beats or 16th notes, because they take up 1/16 of a bar. I like to think of these as the sub beats within each beat. Just like there are 4 main beats within each bar, with 16th notes, there's 4 beats within each beat that you can land on. And 16th notes are some of the most common rhythmic music notes used by rappers. For an example, check out this snippet from Outkast's song ATLs.
And when I'm on the microphone, you best to wear your sweater.
And if you divide these sub beats, aka 16th notes, in half, you get what are known as 32nd notes, because, well, you get it, they take up 1/32 of a bar. And these are those really fast Eminem, Godzilla, Tech 9 type of notes right here. And check out this snippet of Tech 9 using a lot of these 32nd notes in his song Face Off.
I got the hell coming your way. You softer than the thing in your play. Never competitive with a better get a go great. Gonna be there because the feathers in the moon grade.
So basically, as long as you place your syllables within one of these divisions of a bar, you're gonna sound on beat and you're gonna sound great. This is also what we call rapping on the grid. So if you're learning how to rap, this is one of the first things you should learn how to do, so it unlocks many different locations that you can place your syllables within every bar. And I created a free rap course called 5 Minutes to a Better Rap Flow to help you achieve this very thing, which I've posted a link to in the video's description below. Now that you understand what rapping on beat or rapping on the grid means, let's take a closer look at what Blueface is actually doing. Blueface is intentionally rapping offbeat using a technique known as swing. Swing just means that we are intentionally rapping offbeat, but in a musical way. Again, being musical is all about measurements. And once you learn how to get on beat in a measured way, then you can also get off beat in a measured way. But it will feel quite different depending on what type of swing that you use and how off beat you choose to be. You see, there's two types of swing. There's a late swing, which feels more relaxed and chill and kind of lazy. And then there's an early swing that feels more rushed, anxious, and tense. And Blueface is using an early swing in his rap flow. And when you're trying to wrap your head around a rapper's swing, it's helpful to focus on how their syllables are landing in relation to the second and fourth beats. And these beats are typically where the snares will be placed. And if you only hear one snare per bar that lands on the third beat, that means that you're counting your beats in double time. And if a rapper is using a late swing, then their syllables or their words will typically land a little bit after these snares. And if they're using an early swing like Blueface is doing today, then you'll notice their words are landing a little bit before these snares. On Blueface's first bar, f is placed right before the second beat, and if is placed on the second beat. F is the longer and more stressed word of the two, which would typically be placed on the second beat, which is why even though Blueface is on beat here, f still feels early. Also on the fourth beat, the word respect lands before the fourth beat instead of directly on it. Now focus on that as I play it back a couple of times.
Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting.
Now I'm gonna push f back onto the second beat, and I'm gonna push pecked from the word respect onto the fourth beat, and pay attention to how these words are now connecting with the snares. And this would be considered rapping on the beats.
Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting.
Now I'm gonna do the opposite of what Blueface did, and instead of landing before the second and fourth beat, I'm gonna land after the second and fourth beat. And this is what is known as a late swing. Pay attention to how f and pecked are now landing behind the second and fourth beat.
Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting.
Now let's listen to all three different versions back to back, and let me know in the comment section below which one you like the best. 1 is Blueface's early swing, 2 is rapping on beat, and 3 is the late swing.
Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting.
Now moving on to bar 2, listen to how Games lands slightly before beat 3 and Ninja lands before the fourth beat.
Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'.
Now listen for how Games lands more on the third beat and Ninja lands on the fourth beat.
Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'.
Now listen for how Games lands after the third beat and Ninja lands after the fourth beat.
Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'.
Now let's listen to all three of these different versions back to back.
Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'.
Now let's move on to bar 3 and listen for how Floor lands before the second beat, Sign lands slightly before the third beat, and Catch lands before the fourth beat.
Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers. Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers.
Now listen to how Floor lands on the second beat, Sign lands on the third beat, and Catch lands on the fourth beat.
Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers. Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers.
Now listen to how Floor lands after the second beat, Sign lands after the third beat, and Catch lands after the fourth beat.
Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers. Pop the flow, hide the west side just to catch some slippers.
Now let's listen to all three of these different versions back to back.
Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping.
And moving on to bar 4, listen to how bounce lands before the second beat and handle lands before the fourth beat.
Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business.
Now listen to how bounce lands on the second beat and handle lands on the fourth beat.
Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business.
And now listen to how bounce lands after the second beat and handle lands after the fourth beat.
Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business.
Now let's listen to all three of these different versions back to back.
Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business.
Now I'm gonna do all 4 bars at once back to back, starting with Blueface's original timing, which is the early swing, and then my edited version, which puts his words more on beat, and then my late swing version, which puts his words more behind the beats. And let everybody know which one that you prefer in the comments section below.
Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business. Give a fuck if he like it, but he gon' respect the scripting. Yeah, I saw funny games till a nigga trippin'. Mop the flow, hide the west side just to catch him slipping. Pull up, bounce out with a briefcase, it's time to handle business.
Now before you go, if you're new to rapping and you're looking for guidance on what you should be focusing on, then make sure that you get my free Rap Essentials bundle, which includes the #1 Fundamental to Rapping ebook, bar sheets, 6 practice instrumentals, the CMS gear catalog, 3 free rap courses, plus I'll be sharing via email the most essential video tutorials I've made that I recommend every aspiring rapper to watch. And these lessons are going to teach you all the core techniques that you need to be a better rapper now. And all of this is 100% free when you join my mailing list via the link in the video description below. Again, my name is ColeMize with ColeMizeStudios.com. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace.
Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it, kill it.